What is up, everybody, and welcome back to another episode of Chandler. We are here with our very punctual ADHD guest, Bobby Branco, the bipolar comic, here with Aaron Cosbill, professor of comedy, professor of comedy.com. I am Skip Marazzi, the writer, a writer and producer for Cox in Space. Welcome again to Chandler. You can check this out on YouTube, of course, at Wigwags and then coxinspace.com. Mr. Bobby Branco, do you want to call out any of the socials that you would like to promote while you're here on the show?
Okay, I upload to YouTube, and I think I told you already that I am social media frickin' inept.
You have
So
mentioned it.
all I know about YouTube is it goes under bipolar comic, one word. Otherwise, you can't find my channel. And Facebook, Instagram. I'm pretty sure any variation of a search of bipolar comic will pull me up. So yeah, I got
And
I got
we'll link
the
it
uh, I
below
got the
as well.
Trinity.
You're posting
Oh,
pretty
go ahead.
frequently. No, we're gonna link it in the comments below too, or the description of this video. So people will be able to find it if they're looking at this video. But you've been, yeah, I know you got laid up, but you started doing comedy again recently.
Oh yeah, man. I got you know most of my leg back. I can walk her to the car. I can put the damn thing in the back seat. And I can drive wherever I freaking want in town. You see how I'm doing better on the f bombs?
That bums don't bother me. I think that there is probably no limit on YouTube, although maybe we'll get a citation. We'll have to move this to the spicy section on our Patreon. If you guys don't know in
F
the
bombs are
audience,
just fusion bombs. No, uh, no cussing involved. Just a happy fusion. Uh,
fusion bombs. Bob, one of the things you said to me while we were talking this week is that the lack of mobility has made you have to stand still and focus more while you're
Oh,
doing stand up.
oh God, yeah, that frickin' was. I mean, okay, there's nothing I can do about the waving of the arms, although I think it's subdued because I can't pace around to it.
Right.
I didn't know I did that crap until I saw my first video.
Hmm.
So,
Do you
and I
notice
said, well,
the
okay, that's the way I am.
Sorry, trailed off there at the end. I didn't get to catch that part.
Oh, well, I mean, crap, I lost track, man. You know I smoke weed. You shouldn't have to, put me through that kind of crap.
No, I was just trying to go live a moment to moment on this conversation because I feel like it's probably the best way that we'll have the most fun. Uh, so do you feel the power of standing in one place when you're delivering your jokes, or does it feel
Uh,
frustrating?
I mean, it's weird because a lot of times I'll stand up and I'll feel a little weak. But every time I've done 5 minutes up there, I stand solid. I don't have anything to do with that damn walker.
Hmm.
And yeah, it just makes me a little less nervous actually. I mean, there's a certain point where nervous energy is just going to wear you the frick down.
Yeah, hands down. I remember playing as doing live comedy also. Like when I did deliberate actions, it always felt great. When I was kind of wandering on stage, it was often because I was trying to like find my place. I think the audience reads that. I don't know. You said
Yeah.
you've only done one or two shows. I'd be interested in knowing if you feel like there's a difference when you just you have to stand still.
Yeah, I noticed a difference when I watched it.
Oh,
And I
visually,
got it
okay, for yourself. I didn't, sorry, you did say you had watched it on your YouTube, of course, which is a great thing for you to do because you can review your work.
right. The opening, which I barely had worked on when Curtis dragged me to an open mic night, um, it was definitely not ready for human consumption.
Well,
So
it
I
is what
get
it
out of
is.
that fast.
Yeah.
but who's consuming humans? What?
The comedian is consuming humans, apparently. The
It was
comedy is.
toxic. Radio frickin' active, man. So, yeah, and I tried it both nights, and I really hadn't worked that much on the, look back at how I messed myself up and how I could make it funny. I think I'm the only one who finds it funny. So, yeah, I got a lot of work to do on that before I even present that. So that was a mistake.
I mean, you can't fault yourself for trying. Now you know it didn't work that way. You got some feedback because of the way the audience responded, and now you can hone the joke. It's constantly about honing the joke. I've been
Yeah,
listening to
yeah.
some Norm Macdonald specials, and
Okay, get back in.
Hold the freak down. I was going to bring him up because, oh my God, when he passed, that hurt me bad
yeah, I
because
bet.
that man could take you into an interstate on a, entry ramp. You'd find yourself on a dirt road, rutted road, haunted house, and the next thing you know, you're back on the same frickin' ramp that you originally entered. You have no idea how you got there. And sometimes it was the lamest of punchlines, but it was the journey that made it funnier than frick.
Yeah, Norm Macdonald was a very funny. It didn't matter what he was talking about. It was just the fact that he was observing life, and constantly observing life, and it was really just about the ride with him. That's what like so that's what I was about to comment. Like I've heard him tell the same jokes in different orders, and then but
Oh,
like
God.
slightly different because you can tell that he's just telling about thoughts that he has about the world in general. He just remembers them and then strings them together. But like it's the same way that you were talking about how like you're like I'm a storytelling comedian. I can see how Norm Macdonald would be a huge influence for you, because like
Oh, I'm
if it's
sorry.
more about telling the story than it is getting to the punchline.
Okay, well,
Hey
I
guys, I'll
mean,
be right back.
All right.
30. Okay.
my guy, Christopher Titus, man. Um, he's a storyteller too, but he's also, speaking truth to power kind of comic.
Nice. Remind
You know,
me and the audience who Christopher Titus is.
okay, Christopher Titus, and I can't believe he hasn't got more of a name. He had his own TV series called Titus. He wrote it, directed it, whatever, and was starring in it.
Wow.
And he got his ass up at some of the suits at the studio because of his, what he wanted creative control over. And yeah, his wife divorced him. There was all kinds of crap, and he was able to make a routine out of it. And I caught him in Cleveland, and I've caught every damn show I could because there's a lot of family dysfunction that he is able to make funny, which I hope to be able to do as well.
Nice. That is a fantastic recommendation.
Oh
I just
God,
Googled
yeah,
him, so I
yeah.
recognize his face. I haven't. I don't think I knew his name. I do know that he is a funny guy. Um,
Oh God.
but I didn't
Um,
realize that that was the case. Um, yeah, so that's awesome. So I mean, storytelling definitely has its place, as you recognize with the comedians. But like I think Norm Macdonald's favorite thing was to lollygag over a joke. Like he almost was like he would like try to delay getting the punchline by throwing in like a number of interesting details, simply
oh
because he
God.
had your attention, and he was trying to like keep your attention for as long as possible.
Did you see that heartbreaking last video? Because that tore me apart, and I have real trouble with deep emotions, and all part of my prognosis.
Did he
Yeah,
like say
man.
goodbye to his fans or something? Oh, your prognosis being the bipolar
He,
comic.
he,
Yes, I mean are being bipolar and using it for comedy. But yeah, no, that's understandable. What was his final video?
uh, a show in his home, and it was just perfect frickin' Norm. And he knew he was on his way out.
Oh
and
man.
then the tribute by the other comedians at the end. I had to, really tamp down on actually crying, which I really hate doing.
Were you like in a public place or something? Or you
No, I
just
was watching at home. I have a real fucking, I mean, frickin' hard grip on my emotions, man. I have trouble expressing them, and they actually sort of cause me pain.
well,
And I'm
yeah,
trying
no,
to work through that crap.
and
Okay.
emotions do that. Why were you? I'm gonna ask this question. You can do whatever you want with it. Why didn't you want to cry in your own house?
I don't know. If I could answer that question, I would.
Yeah, emotions are
It
fucking
like I
painful, dude.
said, it's a huge inhibition I have of actually going through really heavy emotions. I
Yeah, they
mean,
suck.
I've
Yeah.
had some breakthroughs, but I mean, you want a cliche, man?
Yes.
Um, I parked and was getting the nerve up to interact with people in a nice bar. And the song that I played in my playlist was "Tears of a Clown," and
Ah.
that busted up. That
Huh.
busted me up. I can't remember the last time I cried that hard. you know.
Yeah. Yeah, that's
But
interesting. That I mean, because it's a very common comedian's play, where we strive to make other
uh,
people laugh and be happy because have a very deep sadness in ourselves. I mean, Robin Williams, when he passed, I think it
oh,
was like 2013. Like, I didn't do anything for a
oh,
week.
yeah. Don't get me started on that, man. That was, oh my God. I was I was trying to heal my brain in Cleveland where I was living, and there was a group. And, you know, I didn't participate because that's the way I was. But, I busted it out. Yeah, okay. Deep emotion then. I mean, I can only let it out every so often. But yeah, in front of these big, tough, veterans
Hmm.
because it was in a VA hospital. Um, yeah, I mean, I busted down crying because, Robin was gone. And
Yeah,
another one I could relate to.
right. Well, because of course, right? He was so energetic and like he just was frenetic. Like I mean, so you've seen Robin Williams stand up, of course. He's always moving
Oh
across the
God.
stage, but he's more striding with power than he is restless with it. It's always intentional, but it's like all over the place. Uh,
Yeah, but I mean, what happened though? I mean, at the time, I had suicidal ideation myself,
Same.
you know,
Yeah, it
and
was one of the things I was
ooh,
like, I stopped for a second because I was like, damn, dude, like Robin was like, he was hit by it and he has everything. You know what I mean? So like
oh God.
if you get there and you don't have yourself figured out, then it doesn't make any sense to get there. So
No, I
I
mean,
I took a big deviation to figure out what I wanted to do and be with myself.
anyone can go down that rabbit hole,
Yeah.
okay?
Yeah.
And so
And it was a
it doesn't
combination
matter.
of a lot of things too with Robin. I mean, he was on a different medication. He was trying to stop drinking. Um, you know what I mean? The medication he was on had, and this is a possibility, not necessarily what happened, but one of the side effects was gives suicidal thoughts. Um, so but at the same time, also,
I don't know. I saw pain in him
right.
myself. I
Well,
mean,
I mean, you see the second part of his career when he stopped being a slapstick comedian, and you begin to see the depth of who Robin Williams is as a person. Um,
oh
and
yeah,
then you also see he becomes like a kid actor, like he begins doing a bunch of kids movies for his kids. And at that time in his life, his
oh yeah,
kids have, which had been his pride and joy, had gone off to go do their own lives too. Like, life was changing for him. The dude stopped doing cocaine after 2 decades, or more. You know what I mean? Like he had fried out a bunch of his like dopamine receptors because he had like burned him up with cocaine. Not to make fun of Robin Williams, but like, damn, dude. He loved that shit. Allegedly. I
Oh man.
wasn't there. I didn't see him, but he has also spoken about it. So there's just,
Oh,
there's just
uh,
different ways to do comedy, is all I'm getting at. And, we have to do that, as well as we can while we have the time to do it. Because, like Norm Macdonald or Robin Williams, it runs out on us very quickly.
yeah, and you know what? I mean, the ones that I came up with that you probably don't know about, or have unless you are absolutely a comedy freak and go through all the YouTubes of the comedians that I grew up with. There's some of them that you're just going to go, who the frick was that?
Throw some names out.
And that happened when somebody used Sam Kinison
Oh, yeah.
in the
Okay, cool.
first time.
Yeah. Hell yes. Good
Yeah.
recommendation.
Oh, and man, guy pancaked himself on a motorcycle. Can you believe that?
Did not know that's what
What the
happened.
heck?
God damn. Uh, Sam Kinison.
Well, I mean, he was just starting to get his crap together. I mean, off the drugs and um, you know, and a frickin' motorcycle accident takes him out. I mean, damn.
Yeah, he was not meant to live a long time, I guess. Who knows?
He was meant to scream, and I tried to do it, but I don't have a lot of practice with screaming. And like I said, it was only on a script that I had barely started to work on. And no, I'm going to have to just sit for about 5 hours just listening to Sam Kinnison's triple scream. You know,
To try to like pull it off.
I believe that I had a pretty good mind for mimicry. If I keep hearing something over and over again,
Hmm.
much like a parrot, I believe I have a little more brain in my cranium, but you know.
To be able
Ah,
to, yeah, I don't do imitations well at all. If I've ever imitated somebody, it was totally by accident. Uh, Generally, I have a thought, and then a voice comes out that sounds like somebody else. But it generally has nothing to do with an imitation. I want to address one of the big questions, because this is the second time you've been on one of the Cox and Space shows. And this time you have a different name. You're going by Bobby Branco. Branco. So what's
yeah.
that about?
Okay. Of course, it has meaning, or else why would I do it? Because I had a perfectly good first and last name.
Right, right. Yeah,
So,
exactly.
on, on the first name, Bobby, um, I have to ask both of you whether you saw The Shining either movie. I prefer Jack Nicholson.
I've seen it. Yeah.
Okay. Well, first grade, very, soon after the year started, I'm going to the bus, and these two girls, little girls from my class,
Twins?
figured out that my name rhymed. And I swear to God, I went home and I said, my name is Bob, because I will not hear that sing-songy Bobby Whitney. I mean, and the first time I saw The Shining and those twins at the end of the hallway, I had a fucking flashback.
It was those girls.
Pardon?
It was those girls.
In The Shining,
Yeah,
at
yeah.
the end
Well,
of the hallway.
yeah, the girls
They
in
were
The Shining were the
teenagers.
girls that were taunting you.
Oh yeah, yeah, about the same thing. I mean, I was expecting the twins on that movie to start saying that, man.
So, but I mean, you weren't like glad to have the attention. Like, why was it such a big deal that it was rhyming, that they were singing it?
Well, come on, I'm in first grade. I did not, I still don't react well to ridicule. I mean,
Oh, so it
yeah,
was ridicule. It
some.
wasn't just that it rhymed, but they were singing it to make a joke of your name, and so that's why you were going by Bob. Gotcha.
Oh, yeah. Yeah, I wasn't going to let that happen. So on the second name, Branco, he was and still is the favorite teacher I've ever had was sixth grade, Mr. Branco.
What did he
And
teach?
he was the coolest guy. And he could sort of see that there was something wrong with me.
Huh.
But, back then you really had to be careful about, upsetting the parents. So, but I saw the Mets take the frickin' series in his classroom because he brought in a TV each day. So, I had to become a Mets fan after that.
Right, of
And he
course.
took us to go see the Philadelphia Flyers.
So
So, I
what
mean,
did Mr. Bronco teach?
he just took a few of us in his car. But yeah, man, and I was an underachiever. So, oh, you know what? You can use this against me if I do become famous.
Okay.
Um, I mean, I have been an underachiever because, my brain was just being eked with at home. And so I
Really?
took an IQ test in sixth grade, and I know in Mr. Branco's class.
Okay.
And the next thing I knew, I'm in an advanced freaking, crap at seventh grade. And that's when I really started acting up bad. And, uh, guidance counselor pulled me into the office and said, "What in the hell is wrong with you? You're in I can't remember what upper percentile of the IQ test was, but they didn't give out the frickin' scores." And
Right, right. It was more like just a placement.
yeah, yeah.
But okay.
So, so that gave me the idea that I was a genius, and you know, frick all this.
Right. So he
Um,
believed in you.
I'm seventh grader in the frickin' world. Go pet yourself. Boy, it is hard not to cuss, man.
I don't care either way. It's not a big deal to me. So if you unless you're trying
Okay,
to do it as
all
a
right.
personal challenge,
I,
um,
I've got a few f bombs in me, man.
I hear it.
They,
Um,
I mean, they are ready to detonate. You know what? It's hard to get used to talking with something like this in your mouth.
oh
Although I
yeah,
think
that's right.
I'm
I
doing
forgot.
pretty
Bob,
good.
Bobby, you got new teeth. Um,
I know, man. It's freaking awesome.
which is
I
which
don't
is
know. You can probably see the icon there.
yeah.
Crooked smile because I'm used to smiling.
Still smiling. Um,
Yeah, yeah.
and you said it'd been a long time that you've been without teeth. Can I back up real quick though? So you changed your name to Bobby, which is the name that they laughed at you with. So why did you change it back if you want people to
That's
laugh at
that's
you now?
well, actually, that's a big middle finger to the guy who's been driving the bus, into oncoming traffic and bridge abutments. Bob
Is
Whitney.
oh, okay,
Of
gotcha.
course, of course, I'm still going to have to, introduce myself that way. But I think my persona on stage is going to, distance himself from this train wreck that I've been. So,
Yeah.
that's my
Where
logic.
do you want
Take
to
it or
take a
leave
small
it.
divergence real quick? Because I've done the same thing as well. Like I have become a persona that I wanted to craft. Um, and I think that it's very possible and actually in some ways healthy. People can comment below if they disagree with me, or if they agree with me, to like recognize who you are and who you want to be, and give that person a name, and then move towards becoming that person, if that makes
Oh,
sense.
yeah. Yeah.
Yeah, and I see
No,
that you're doing
it
that.
makes, Go ahead. Oh yeah, but it makes therapists very nervous about multiple or split personalities and shit. I did raise an eyebrow when I said I was changing my name.
Oh, okay. Well, that's an interesting that they would take it that way. But like it's this idea, this recognition that like I have been a certain way under this banner, and now from this point
Yeah,
forward, I want to like, where I was offended by before and couldn't be ridiculed. Now it's okay if I'm ridiculed because Bobby is my name, and if you laugh, then at least I'm getting a laugh, right? And Bronco, of course, Branco being
um,
a guy that you look up to who reminded you that you
yeah,
had potential, or it sounds like you weren't getting that at home.
yeah, yeah, yeah. It was, yeah, same tragic story. Anyway,
Well,
yeah,
you're a little bit
I
older. I
mean,
think your parents are from the silent generation, right? Where you didn't touch a kid, you didn't tell a kid that you loved them, like it was considered odd if you did. Is that
well,
a description of your parents or no?
no, I mean, I did see families that, were Brady Bunchish and, all about the hugging, but yeah, my dad was a, executive and always, traveling for the company and crap like that.
Ah,
But, when he was around, it was sort of, hey, Dad, and he knew we loved him and back forth. And the woman he married was a psychopath, and
is that not your
you
mom,
know
or your mom is a psychopath?
my stepmom was a
Oh, gotcha.
genuine psychopath.
Oh,
Um,
fuck. When did you
yeah,
meet when did you meet this terror of a human being?
yeah, from the fiery pit of hell.
How old
She
were you
was
when you met her?
forged.
How old were you?
Okay.
Sorry.
Well, my mom died when I was 4,
Oh
and
shit. First of all, I'm sorry, I didn't know
I
that.
am loath to use I am loath to use that in any of my stand up because I don't want an awe, I just
Yeah,
wanted to make it a point that this is what happened first. That sort
right,
of
right.
fucked me up, okay? And
Well, it's
then
it's a
a
good way to
psycho
humanize
step.
yourself for sure. And I'm not making a bit of it at all. Like I'm just like, wow, that's a place to start in life.
Oh no, that's where I want to be able to go,
Yeah.
but I'm not ready for that yet, okay?
Fair, fair.
And I think there's a way to walk an audience into that without, the whole awe thing,
Right.
but
Okay.
I haven't figured it out yet.
I see. I see. So you want to present it when it's perfect to do that. And then how much longer after that did your dad remarry?
I just know that I was, oh God, this is something that I don't think belongs in the act if I do it. Um,
Okay.
a week to the day after my 4th birthday is when my mom died.
Wow.
Uh,
Wow.
yeah, you know, and if ever I was going to make a bit, which I called the beginning part of what I was going to do, was the universe is out to get me, and if if the universe didn't throw down a spike strip right then, damn.
Right, yeah, seriously, like holy shit, dog. Um, and then so I mean you're still fairly young, so like the memory that you have of whenever your mom comes when your stepmom comes in is
Yeah,
kind of like
that
everything.
was it was definitely while I was smooching on a neighborhood girl. Yeah, it was a yeah, okay, Romeo Juliet, and we'll get to that later.
Nice, and we are planning to do that. Um,
Okay.
so this new name is you saying like all that shit from where I came from. Like I recognize that it's where I came from, but I'm no longer allowing it to define me as a person.
I made it sort of clear that I was locked in at 12 years old, trying to adult all this time,
Oh wow.
and
Why
those
why
guys
was it 12?
don't do very well at adulting.
Well, you were also a 12-year-old. How are you expect to adult at 12?
No, yeah. I mean, yeah. Yeah, I mean, I have 30 plus jobs when someone sat me down and said, "What did you do next?" I mean, come on, man, 30 plus jobs. By the end of that, you just want to say, you know what? That's it. I'm sitting down because
Wait,
obviously,
so you're
uh,
60 something, is that right? Not to call out your age distinctly, but like just so we have
oh
a
no,
reference.
yeah,
Is that
I've
right?
never been ashamed of. Yeah, I'm 66, and in a couple weeks, I'm gonna be 67.
So you were
So
spending on average about 2 years at a job before going on to another job.
yeah, I guess so. Some were like, the hell with this. A few months in, and no idea of how I'm going to support myself each time.
Yeah.
And each time I was able to, retrieve myself from the pits until I, didn't.
So on the show, one of the things we talk about a lot is like neurodivergence, and on that is like the manic depressive, like ADHD type behavior. I'm not sure exactly what the
Yeah.
distinction is because I'm not a doctor. But that like type of behavior, and I know that I'm definitely prone to that too. I will get to a point where like I'll just realize that I don't want to do any of these things anymore, and I can't figure out why. I just need to go do something else. And then I just let go of everything and then go on to go do something else. And so far, I've been fortunate and been caught every time, but I have a feeling that that doesn't last forever, like you're saying, until it didn't anymore, right? When did that happen for
You,
you?
you know what? I lost complete track of the conversation because, again, me and THC have been together for a very long.
Fair. That's fair. So you said you'd held a number of jobs, and you said you just quit when you were finished, not knowing what would happen next, and then it worked until it didn't. So when was that for you?
Well, I when I first became homeless here in Cleveland in 1986,
Damn.
right when
Okay.
the Mets won again. You know what? That's frickin' karma, man, or some kind of hideous frickin' gypsy curse.
How do you? Because the Mets won and you were homeless for the first time.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. I stayed at St. Paul's here in town. If you know where their community center was or
You,
is.
I live
Um,
in Louisiana, so I'm not real familiar with Ohio, but
okay.
um, yeah, no, but am familiar with being homeless because that has happened. That was one of the things that I was mentioning. Like it has worked out because I've had that to like at least land on when I got tired of being outside.
Yeah, yeah. I mean, the last job I was, I think I was slowly killing myself because I hated being there. I was a security guard. And first off, let me tell you, my attention to detail is not a good qualifier to be a security guard.
Okay.
Um, dude, the guy could be 6 foot, uh, you know, dragging his fingers on his knuckles on the ground, and
Uh,
I would be asked for a description, and I'd be saying he was a guy, you know.
okay, fair. So you're just like they found out that that probably wasn't the best job for you.
No, no, no. I happen to have a superior that I know it was a midnight shift, and a captain who I absolutely hated, and she hated me. But I don't know. I was uh, I was part of the it was the Plain Dealer, okay, their production facility newspaper in Cleveland,
Okay, gotcha.
and and this, oh my God. I mean, I do not have anything against working for a woman. I've done it a multitude of times, and my God, just great. But this woman was reminded me, I think, of Emily, the dark lord of my early life.
Is that your
And
stepmom's
I
name?
would go home. Go ahead.
Is Emily your stepmom's name?
Yeah, yeah.
Oh, geez.
I just spit on the ground. I just spit on the ground twice when
To hear it again, I apologize. I just needed clarification since I haven't lived as you, but I was just taking a guess because that seemed to relate. So you're like, I met this other psychopath, and you're like, I can't be around another psychopath right now. This is not a good working
I did.
environment.
That's one of the longest jobs I've ever had.
Holy shit, how
Probably
long were you
because
there?
I liked what I was doing, and one of the other guards liked to smoke weed with an older guy, and we lived in the same apartment complex. And you know what? Yeah, I mean, I was always broke. I mean, so even with the $10 an hour, they never raised it over the years for
Wow,
any guard. So
wow.
it was like ten bucks an hour for this contract company to the plain dealer. And but anyway, yeah, every morning I'd get off in the morning. I'd stop by a carry out right on the corner near my apartment. I'd pick up a 12 pack of Milwaukee's Best Ice, which
It's a
is
lie.
the finest liquor or alcohol delivery system in a beer form known to man. I mean, if you want to get ripped, rip into a 12 pack of Milwaukee's Ice,
Milwaukee's the,
Milwaukee's Best Ice. So, yeah, I was doing that every frickin' day
wow,
until I just woke up for a shift and I said, I cannot do this crap anymore.
fair enough.
And actually, I quit drinking for a few years. I can drink socially now, but you know,
You were just like, I
yeah,
don't want to
yeah,
live like this.
I mean, I wasn't eating. I was just getting, I guess, whatever nutritional value Milwaukee's Best had most of
Um,
the time.
God. I mean, there is some, but holy Christ, you can't live off that.
No, you can't. So, odds are you're going to die. So,
Bobby, yeah,
you
exactly.
know,
That's what you started the story with, is it sounded like you were intentionally killing yourself. Um,
no, it was just, I assumed a stressor that needed, addressing was the most effective thing I could think of that I could afford. I
right,
mean, I
right,
couldn't afford cocaine. I mean, damn, I can barely afford weed.
right, yeah. You're like, all right, it's gonna be this Milwaukee's
Yeah,
best because this is how we're getting through this. Uh,
yeah.
my God. Um,
So yeah, I spent a couple of years mostly, in in seclusion. I mean, I barely had any contact with anybody for a few years there in Cleveland.
hmm,
And
I've lived that
when I
life.
moved back here, like I said, when I moved back here, there was the pandemic, and
Oh,
damn,
geez, right.
that
And then
was
all
more
of a
than my
sudden,
brain could handle.
yeah, I was living in a shelter for throughout the pandemic. And so yeah, again,
Oh,
crazy times, right? Because we're like right where
oh,
people are getting sick.
yeah, yeah. Wow.
Yeah,
And you're crowded with a group.
yeah, exactly. There
Yeah,
is no social isolation because there's a bunch of us.
yeah. Wow.
But
Man, I can't. I mean, I thought I had some wicked bad experiences with shelters, but damn.
I'm just
I
saying, like,
never.
I'm sure that we have some stories that we could swap. But this show is not about me. This one's about you as our guest, and I'm interested in why you no longer roller skate.
Oh, yes. Okay. You'll have to go back to the year of the misspent year I had in college because I got away from the pitch and pretty much was drinking myself to death then. And yeah, I came home for between quarters, which were, what you kids call semesters now.
I had no
Um,
idea it changed. That's funny.
I came home. It was winter, I think, between winter and the spring, I guess. And I came home and I had roller skated. I don't know how many times. I did speed skating, which was my favorite thing to do, was go fast around the rink and try to beat everybody else out. And I had taken ice skating classes at Bowling Green because, the basket weaving class wasn't full, okay? So
Bowling Green
I,
is the
I
college, I'm
learned
supposing.
I learned that I was very unsteady on them, and I would, fall backwards, and I used my hand to, stop my fall.
Ooh.
Um, what happened there was, um, I was in a speed skate. I swear to God, there was one kid there who hated my guts. I knew that,
Wait,
but
a
I
kid. Okay,
swear
so
to
you're
God,
from college. You're like
I got
19, and this
sex
kid
in
is how old?
Yeah, when I think someone did elbows up on me, this guy who hated my guts, and I had a Colles fracture of the wrist that particular time because you do not try to cushion your fall, but falling back on a roller rink during a speed skate.
Right.
I okay, lesson learned, right?
Right. You only get to learn that
So
one time.
So about a year later, I'm in the Navy down in Orlando going to nuclear power school, and someone invites me to go roller skating. And I say, you know what? I haven't done that for about a year.
Okay.
So I so I go and do my thing. They have a speed skate, and this time I went forward and I instinctively pulled my arm up to protect my face, and I had an impacted fracture of my frickin' elbow. I have not been
Ooh.
roller skating
Ooh.
since.
Dang, dude. Yeah, I can
Yeah, man.
understand why.
Yeah.
I don't jump on trampolines anymore because I knocked some of my teeth out one time slipping on one. Um,
Yeah.
so yeah, it's just one of those things. I'm like, yeah, I'm good. Thank you for that. Um, but not for
Oh,
me.
I had no idea how serious it was because I was a little drunk anyway, and I got a lot of drunk after that. And yeah, I woke up in the morning and I was like, "Holy crap! I got to go to I don't know what they called it. I think it was sick bay, but um, anyway, yeah, this guy doctor walked up to me and he said, "Where does it hurt?" And I said, "My elbow." And he touched it and I felt my knees buckle. And then he
Ooh.
goes to
Ooh.
some other, I think a foreman, and he said, "Hey," and that guy touched it.
Oh my God.
And
This is before the X-ray was invented, right? That's why they had to do it that way. Jokes.
and then after that, but they just wanted to be sure that, I was in adequate pain to, waste time in whatever
Right, yeah.
those, X-ray.
You can't be what's the word when you're just laying back? Malaise? No.
Malignant? No, no.
Yeah,
Oh God,
malingering.
malignant.
Yeah.
Oh, malingerer. It's
Yeah.
malingering.
Is are you a
Ah, God. You know
malingerer?
what? I have a pretty good command of the English language. The only problem with that is I know words that I don't know, and I'll
Yeah.
use them.
Right, right. Yeah, I'll hear them. I'm like,
And
damn, I definitely know all those letters go together like that. And it's kind of like, because I've read it somewhere or something. Um, or the opposite problem is the one that I have is that I use like vocabulary because I can't think of common words sometimes. And so I'll use like
okay,
synonyms and stuff to like not make it sound so awkward. And so people assume
yeah.
that I'm smart instead of understanding how stupid I am that I couldn't think of the other words. So like for
I,
me, I'm sure you've had that problem. They're like, Bob, you should do these things. You use big words. And you're like, fuck, no, I barely surviving.
oh man, I got oh God, I'm trying to remember what the God. Oh yeah, I had a schizophrenic bar buddy in Cleveland,
And so you
and
had a few schizophrenic bar
you know,
buddies.
I mean, he was medicated, and actually he never drank. He just had huge glasses of pop. But yeah, he turned to me and he said, "You are so intelligent." And I actually got a little pissed. I said, "No, I'm clever. They're entirely two different, skill sets."
Fair.
You know, I
Fair.
mean,
Thank you for
I
calling
mean,
me
I
out,
meant,
Bob. Yeah, thank you. That's exactly. I've been labeled intelligent for too long that I'm just barely clever enough to pull it together and have to like pretend that everything's normal, right?
yeah, yeah. I mean, I managed to pretty much keep a roof over my head every time I messed up my life and keep my belly pretty full, except for when I was, destroying myself with Milwaukee's best.
Right, right.
But,
You were still getting some nutrients.
I hear Coors is more nutritious and just a little bit more, homophobic, I believe.
It's more full-bodied beer. Hey, so you mentioned two things that I want to hear more about before we move on. And that is, you said that you had a misspent year in college. What does that mean?
Oh God. Actually, it's where I met my current best friend from college
Okay.
because I mean, if you have a best friend in high school, I think you have to differentiate them because
Okay.
you cannot give one more of a best than the other. Am I right or not?
Well, that's fair. Yeah, different times in your life have different best friends because you're friends because of the experiences generally.
Well, I mean, they are my current, pretty much only close friends.
That's awesome.
And
You want to shout
so,
them out, or is that
you
weird?
know, sure. My best friend from high school, and I don't know if I have his permission to give his last name out,
That's okay. This is
but
safety.
Rick, man,
Nice.
Rick, hell of a guy. Met him. He was a couple years younger than me, and actually, I instinctively did for him what a jock a couple years ahead of me did, and just took mercy on this clueless frickin' freshman and directed me into trying out for a play.
Nice. Just to
And
give
I
them
did
like
the
a group
same
of people
thing
to
to
be
this
with.
guy. I did the same thing to this guy, and to this day, he says, "Why in the hell did I listen to you?" But yeah, and then he pulled me in the choir, and um, I did the same thing to him. And I really, at the time, didn't realize what I was doing because, my brain was a little fucked up, you know. But,
Still cooking, as they
you
say.
know, but yeah, I mean, we've stayed in contact all this time. And you know what? He was the first time to offer me that, um, what is that called? Devil's parsley or,
The devil's lettuce.
that's actually, it can come in the form of parsley if your frickin' dealer was, let's say, less than reputable.
Right, right. That has happened. The thing I want to know about before you to Rabbit Trailer is what about your friend in college? What's his name? Friend from
His
college.
name is Gabe.
Gabe.
His
Okay,
name
cool.
is Gabe, and what? Okay, what brought us together was I was at a summer quarter, which is where they put the underachievers with the low GPA to see whether or not they could make it through a quarter,
Okay.
and he was there too, and he had two tickets for Yes, which is a band that I love, and
Wow.
this would have been the first rock concert I would have gone to, and I bought it from him,
Nice.
and it was, I don't know whether or not to call it the second rock concert because uh my sister and her boyfriend took me to Jesus Christ Superstar, I think in eighth grade.
I don't know if that counts as
So
a rock concert, even though it does have a lot of rock in it.
yeah, but I gotta tell you, man, Pilot's voice on the record and on stage is just, oh my God. I could only dream of being able to sing that strong, you know?
Yeah, no, the guy playing Jesus, and also I think the Judas character do have some really hard vocals. But you two went to Yes
Oh,
together, and then you guys are still currently friends, you and Gabe.
oh God, yes, we became roommates. We both screwed our lives up over the years, sort of equally, but he was invited back the next year. And that's when I did not think about a second option to my stepmom, saying, well, you can join the service or get the frick out of the house.
Oh wow.
You know what?
Right.
And I went to the recruiting office
You guys
because
did.
I didn't think of the second option, which was moving out on my own and getting a job, which I'd done all through high school. I
Oh, gotcha.
also I had a well-to-do dad who was willing to put me through college. And Dad, I need help getting an apartment. I'll get a job. Don't worry about it. You know. Um, so yeah, I mean, oh God, the story I have about my Navy adventures. Oh my
That was going
God,
to be my
it
follow-up
was.
question for you. So and that's why I was wondering how you got to the Navy. But this is my question, just to put a button on that last topic. So you have that misspent year you said in college, right? Because that's what you consider misspent because it didn't pan out to anything. But you still met Gabe. So I mean,
Oh yeah.
doesn't sound like a misspent year.
Oh, I know, and I found something that I thought I was pretty good at, and actually was able to do professionally after I got out of the Navy, and that was I was on the campus radio station, and I got a soft, silky voice, and
That's
um,
true, man.
yeah, and yeah. I mean that, but just drinking all the time and not making it to classes, and you know what? That was sort of disrespectful to my dad. But you know what? In
What?
a way, you get what you pay for because you married a frickin' hell demon. My God.
Right? And you're like, I'm drinking to forget, Dad. I'm drinking to forget what you brought into my life. Um,
So yeah, but yeah, no, that was a time where you really don't. Well, I mean, let me correct myself. I
right.
knew families that were normal, you know. So I don't think I don't think I can actually necessarily blame everything on the times. Um,
Okay. Fair.
but
But
there were some prevalent damn ways that people thought about how to raise children, and
give
and if your parents went down that path was awful. I mean, awful.
Give me some examples. You might be talking about like it's just so vague. You could be meaning anything, and I think I'm pulling from my own experiences. What do you mean? What were some ways that parents would parent that were awful in your time period?
Okay. I would say that, I mean, any physical abuse, which, goes too far, you really didn't have what we would call a safety net for a child who is
Yeah,
being,
right,
abused.
fair,
Um,
right.
yeah, I mean, yeah, the times did not have that kind of thing. There was no
And
internet
also, it was kind
actually
of
where,
expected, right? Like, not every kid was getting whipped, but whipping kids was like a regular thing. I mean, I grew up in that time too, but
yeah,
my parents were just old school.
yeah, but if they're a psychopath,
And
which
they just like
Emily
whipping
was,
kids.
but
Yeah,
she was very
fucking bitch.
smart about how she
What a bitch.
was,
I'm gonna say it for you
you
because I
know.
don't like her at all, man. What a bitch.
Yeah,
But
I actually did a very short bit about, some pent up feelings about how I would say hunt down her, resting place, and yeah, heavily hydrate on the drive, water
get
the
rid.
plant on her right under her headstone, and put on a Johnny Mexican sombrero and la cucaracha the ground. just so I make sure her frickin' ashes or coffin or whatever she's in is a little closer to her dark lord. But I'm not bitter or anything.
um,
Oh, come on, the audience actually liked that. I mean,
that's
okay,
it's a good
I,
bit, man. It's a good bit because you know, abuse goes on in households in different ways. And you know whether the adult is related to you, you know, or not, they're in your life. And you know, there are definitely people who empathize with you on that,
well,
being
yeah,
like, damn, dude,
oh
like
God,
you couldn't have been a worse person.
yeah, I mean, she has been in my head too for all
Right,
this
right.
time. So,
Um,
a
and
tall
then
girl.
what do you do
Go ahead.
turn it into comedy? I mean, that's the only, I mean, that's the
Well,
other option is like to turn it into tragedy, but geez, who wants to go that way?
I can't write that way, man. And that would be a novel that number one best-selling bummer of the year.
Yeah, right. Yeah, exactly. That's what I'm saying. Like, or also, I mean, the other thing, you
I
know, like people taking out their violence on other people, that's turning it into a tragedy instead of, you know, becoming a stand-up or, you know,
Well, you know what? I mean, I have a strong, let's say, um, red button that I dare not push. I do not allow myself anger
hmm,
um,
fair.
enough to hurt. Okay, and the bitch put a little something in my head about that. So I mean, I don't think I've ever been able to protect myself. I cannot throw a punch. I don't believe I can hurt someone.
Okay, fair.
So
If you
and
start
then it
getting
became
angry and your mouth starts writing checks your body can't cash, you're going to be in a world of hurt, is what you're saying.
yeah. I mean, okay, and yeah, I had a little incident with my brother that I may have brought up last time, but you know, hey, look, a little attempted murder in a family was pretty accepted back in the 70s.
I mean, that's
Sorry.
normal. What else do you expect to do? I mean, that's what family is there for. Fight until you want to kill each other, and then get together at Christmas and see if you can survive. So
Yeah. Yeah. Well, I did have that big, thick Sears Christmas catalog that I could circle what I wanted. I never got it. It was a
but
frickin' damn weed.
but you could
What the
circle
hell is
it.
wrong? So, yeah, I'm not bitter about that either.
No, that's funny. The Sears catalog is such a classic image that no longer exists. And like there's like two generations of people who are like, what did he just say? What does that
Oh, yeah.
even mean? An actual physical fat book of products that you could buy so that
No,
they
I,
could ship
I,
it to
I
you.
would. No, if I ever tried to use that on stage, I would have a frickin' way of putting it on the audience for not knowing what it is.
Yeah,
You know,
you'd have to
um,
explain it. That would have to be the build up to the joke, or at least part of it. Because
well,
context, yeah, 100%.
well, I used it only once, and no, I haven't used it yet. It's one that I said I don't know if I can do this properly, but um, let's see, goes something like this. Um, when they don't get it, I'll just say, "Well, come on, that's what Jeeves was for," and no one's going to get it, and I'm going to say, "Well, ironically, you're going to have to Google that," and then
That is nice.
yeah,
That is nice because you
I
turn it
started
into
out.
the thing.
I did
And
say
actually,
I
that's probably
started
the
out.
best way to get out of it because then people can look it up for themselves and then discover. You don't have to explain it. Googling is the most sensible. Nice. Good move,
Okay.
Bob.
No. I take it further, man.
Okay.
Take it further. Yeah. I say, that's what Ask Jeeves was made for. I'm going to
That's
get the
Chiefs.
blank face. Then I go, well, ironically, you're going to have to Google that, and then I had something after that. Oh God, which I could use to use the I unironically.
Oh, okay.
It, it, but I can't remember how I got to it, and I can't
Dang.
remember exactly what the material is, but
Yeah, because
because
there
I
is
didn't
another.
use it.
Guys, comment below
But
if you can think of the punchline to that joke and what would work there. I want to take this moment real quick, just to segue. Welcome back, Aaron Cosby. We're about to segue to a shout out.
Sorry for
So
the abrupt leaving.
you're listening to Cox and Space podcast, and this is Chandler, with no Chandler on it tonight, unfortunately. But we are here. You can always catch up in what we're doing at coxinspace.com. That's coxinspace.com. You can get connected to our Facebook and get in touch with Aaron Cosbill. Find out all the things that we're doing, socialize with other people who are on Facebook, and get connected so you can get on the show, talk about all the interesting things that you like to do, like Mr. Bobby Branco here does. You can also get connected with our Patreon, which gives you access to hidden and early episodes, stuff that's like blocked content that's like too spicy for YouTube, or there's like a copyright claim on it, so we can't like show it to you on YouTube. And then Chandler's going to start doing hidden episodes too, or he has actually done a couple of hidden episodes. You can check them out up there. It allows you to become part owner of the show, and then you earn a percentage of the show, and the show pays out. So as a way of saying thank you, we could talk about all those details when you become a Patreon. The big thing too at coxinspace.com is you can join the Discord, and you can just join the chat here for these episodes as we're hanging out with guests, which means that you get to hang out with them in the green room previous. You get to chat them up on the show, and then afterwards you get to talk to them as well. And so that is super fun. And then in our Discord, you can also vote on shows that you like, so we can figure out what you guys are liking and disliking. If you're catching this on YouTube, like, comment, share, of course, with the people that you know. Like, comment about the stuff that you like in the show, and the stuff that you don't like in the show. And we are aware of that, and we will be commenting back to you. I think Bobby has gotten our attention that way through the Facebook and that. We are going to be shifting gears back to Mr. Bobby Branco, the bipolar comic, and we're going to be talking about with him his first love with I'm going to
oh,
leave her last name out, but Miss Shelley.
oh
Welcome back,
God,
Aaron Cosby.
yes, yes. I was strolling around the oval of the you know sort of working class neighborhood because my dad hadn't got promoted yet, and came upon a beautiful blonde girl with long hair, and she beckoned me into the yard, and she offered me a piece of dentine gum,
Okay, so
and
hang
it
on.
was
Let's put some
on.
context real quick.
It,
So
I was,
how old is this
I
girl?
was, we were both 5, man.
Okay.
You know,
Oh,
and
so
and
your very first love.
yeah, and she was a little more advanced than me. You know, now a few days later, she pulled me into the backyard and she said, "I saw open mouth kissing in a movie,"
What?
and she wanted to try it.
At
And I
5?
gotta tell you, man, we were swapping spit and tongue. I mean, my God.
At at
Yeah,
at
yeah,
5,
she taught me
Bobby?
how to French. Yeah, girl taught me how to French.
Again, you're like you're just barely gotten toilet trained.
So yeah, and all that turmoil and crap was going on inside my house.
Right,
And
right.
I remember, I remember being allowed to have her in the house in the, pretty much what the kids' den was. And
Okay.
I don't remember exactly what we were doing, but Emily was freaking insanely pissed. And yeah, Shelly wasn't allowed in the house anymore. So,
Aaron, so you're
but
caught up.
you
Emily is a very evil stepmother, uh, who I loathe entirely. And
yeah,
Bob has a great joke about pissing on her grave about. Just so you know where we're at. So okay, I mean that's fair. It sounds like Miss Shelley had some things going on in her house also that may not have been good for her.
yeah.
That's really
Uh,
young to be exploring who you are as
well,
people, to put it in the most
Yeah.
well,
polite way.
we took the same bus to kindergarten, and every time at the bus stop, man, we'd swap spit. And then her family moved away to frickin' Arizona.
Oh my God.
Heartbreak, man. Heartbreak.
Um, yeah, that's wild. Um,
Yeah.
I'm from Arizona. Do you know
Have
what
you
part
looked her up
she moved to? Yeah, I'm curious
on
about
Facebook?
that.
I mean, I did try to look her up. I couldn't find a match anywhere, but that was a few years ago. Who knows?
Also,
But
right, she
yeah,
probably doesn't have the same
I've
last
seen it.
name.
That's
I
true.
couldn't find anybody who matched, and she may have a married name and not even be referred to by Bruce anymore.
Right, right.
I
I'm
assume
gonna
that she.
edit that out to just make sure to protect her privacy.
Yeah, but man, yeah. Oh, I did
So,
something. Something that any rational adult would say the boy needs some fucking help. After she left, because I
right,
really was heartbroken,
I bet
and
that's why kids
and
shouldn't be trying to deal with that emotional turmoil at that age because it's complex.
you know, so yeah, when I got the picture of the whole class, when I got it home, I scratched both of our faces out,
Oh,
and Emily looked at it as you wasted money rather than
oh wow.
you have a
Yeah,
problem.
you're in big pain.
Yeah.
Yeah, I gotcha. So I'm gonna circle back just a little bit, not to play like armchair therapist, but just noticing a
No.
pattern. That you were saying that you'd have a hard time expressing like emotions, deep emotions, but it also sounds like you're dealing with deep emotions as a little kid. So your brain's not even like developed enough to like handle that sort of stuff. So it would put you in a place that you're like dealing with deep emotions from like a kid's point of view, because that's where your initial experience is. That's just speculation.
Oh,
I
yeah.
don't know if it's based in fact.
Well, I mean, my theory, my therapist, theory is that most of it is pretty much fear based because
Okay.
I was instilled with a lot of fear of showing any emotions in that
Right.
house.
Dang.
So,
Because there's
so
no room when Emily's being so mad for other people's emotions.
oh, I was able to make the bitch laugh, and I mean,
There's always a
I
value.
think that I think the whole experience developed a very dark humor that you know she'd cackle to, and that
Gotcha.
meant that it was safe.
Huh. Yeah, interesting. Have you seen that influence your work as a stand-up now? That you're like you play towards the types of jokes that would make her laugh, like that dark humor?
I don't think so.
Okay.
If I'm going to be pissing on her grave in it,
Right, right. Well, I
she
didn't
might
know,
take.
like, I mean, if it was just like a learned behavior, you're like, yep, I love graveside humor because or gallows humor rather.
Well, yeah, talking about dead people that you really wished it dead when you were a kid.
You know what I
Yeah, that's a
mean?
little.
Like, I think that's the type of joke that if she was objective about it, she might laugh at because it's so dark about how much you want to piss on her grave.
No, I think that would have caused. Well, yeah, no.
No,
Um,
I mean really just with the objectivity, but obviously it doesn't. She doesn't have that objectivity, so I think that's why you're being like, nope, not the person she was.
yeah. Um, I was very careful about anything I said to her because anything could set her off,
Yeah, it sounds
and
like
so yeah. I mean, and I was the youngest with she had me the longest, so
oh
she
geez.
was dabbling with my brain when it was barely forming, and
Yeah.
had me until 18. So yeah.
Oh my God. Okay, so you said that you joined the Navy after high school because you're like, yeah, this is what's gonna happen. Um, and one of the
Yeah.
times you said that you were in the Navy, you said you wanted ice cream, and so you ended up borrowing a fiance's father's car.
Oh no, no, it was Yeah. Okay. Actually, this was my on my way out because I got out early. Explanations by request. I'll just say that it was an honorable discharge,
Okay.
and this was called a transient something unit, and transient. Boy, you know what? That's sort of a description of being homeless too, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. Wow. What a foreteller. Anyway, yeah, I was on a rotating desk watch where one of us would, write whatever the hell happened that night, and the other guy would, do the patrolling of the building. And like I said, it was 8 hours on, 24 hours off constantly. And
Wow. Okay. Nice little break.
and and
Yeah.
yeah, I think it had to have been an afternoon because Burger King I don't think even did breakfast back then. Um, yeah, we were both hungry. Um, I I was let's say that what I did was illegal. First off, the only thing I had was a learner's permit from Ohio when I got down to Florida, and they gave me one of their, card temp whatevers, and yeah, I bought a Cadillac that I mean it was a dog and died very soon. Anyway,
No.
back to the transient unit there. Yeah, I mean I guess they call it abandon my post or whatever to go get some lunch at Burger King. They did have drive-throughs, and I had this oh God, now I can't remember high performance cars, and it was a AMC, I think it was, and
What makes that a
I'd
high
never
performance car?
actually I wasn't a very experienced driver, and yeah, this was, this was the guy's fiance's father's car. Now I remember it exactly. And yeah, I got through the Burger King drive-through, and I saw some traffic approaching, and I pushed down completely on the
Oh.
gas pedal
Oh.
because that's what my Cadillac needed. And yeah, it roared to life. I knocked over a palm tree. It can and I don't know.
Oh.
I think my foot was frozen on the accelerator
Oh my God.
because I lived behind a Mexican restaurant and I knocked over a barrel of grease. And then I went under a municipal airport fence and then I hit a tree. Now imagine the damage to a car that went through that because it did go under the fence because there was a lot of soil above it. And that scraped the hell out of it before it hit
Oh
the tree.
my God.
So I am
Like
in trouble.
a million times
I,
of keying a car.
Yeah, yeah,
I,
exactly,
I am
right?
in
Like it's super
deep,
speed.
deep doo-doo, okay? And I went to the back door of the Mexican food restaurant, and cute little Mexican girl. I told her, what happened, and I said, I'm in trouble, and maybe I better call it the base and tell them, yeah, come get me. Um, and she wanted to try to hide me, you know, as you know, and I wound up, calling, and there were already police all around the fucking place. And when I got back outside, and yeah, Shore Patrol collected me and brought me back to the transit unit. And you know what? Not much happened. I wound up going to court, and the judge said there was extensive property damage,
Yeah.
Mr. Whitney.
Uh-huh.
And I understand that you were driving around town without a driver's license, as you did this time. Civilian court, okay?
Right.
I don't know how I got out of it, but there was no fine, no nothing. And the poor
Really?
guy,
What?
God,
They're just like,
had his
just don't do it again,
had his
right?
car, the guy had his freaking car destroyed by me.
Oh my God. Did he have like comprehensive insurance or something? That was not a problem. I mean, I guess if you're driving a
That was
supercar,
not,
right?
I mean, but yeah, it was the property damage. I guess I got out of.
Oh, gotcha. Right, of course. And then
Um,
all the other. Okay.
so
Wow.
yeah,
So we
I
are in
don't
the
know
last
why he
15
let
minutes
me.
of the show, which means we're going to head towards wrapping it up. We actually haven't gotten through all the questions that you or all the stories that you wanted to tell, which is, I think, fantastic, which means we're probably looking at having you on again if you're down for it to talk about more of the things.
Oh,
And I mean,
absolutely.
yeah, it's fun times.
I mean,
There, what's up, buddy? Go ahead.
actually,
Yeah, one second.
one moment.
Aaron,
Okay, actually,
did
oh,
you
go
have
ahead.
did you have a thought? You
No,
sound like
no, I
you.
was just listening mostly
Oh, I'm
because I wasn't
sorry.
here for most of the show.
I thought you were just you were chiming in. I was like, oh no,
Uh,
don't. You haven't been here for the entire show. So if you want to chime in with your thoughts, um, Bob, there is one thing that I want to close out the show with because I'm super curious about, and this absolutely for me cannot wait until the next time. And
okay.
this is this. According to you, who killed JFK, and how can you prove it?
Oh God, you know what? That's actually a long bit that I did, called the Amsterdam incident.
Okay.
I mean, that was a full 5 minutes, and it did very well. So I don't know if I can tell that story, other
Well,
than my
okay.
voice. I think I told you I was in choir. I made it top tenor, and I got selected for a European tour.
That's what you
And
said, yeah.
yeah, basically, I stepped foot in Holland or Dutchland or whatever the fuck they call it, and there's a lot of windmills there, and there was nothing like that around anywhere. There
Hmm.
was no solar anything. We didn't give a crap about the planet. And I think we've learned recently that the fumes from those will turn you gay. And
What?
yeah, they will. I mean, trust me, because I took one whiff of those fumes and suddenly I saw cocks everywhere. Here a cock, there a cock, everywhere a cock. And you know what?
What?
I suddenly wanted one of those in my mouth.
Wow, facts. Okay.
There you go. There
From the
you go.
windmills.
Yes. I was on a European tour when I was 16 years old. Oh, no, I was 17. Okay. So
So,
yeah, I call it the Amsterdam incident. It's a little more drawn out. Um, I didn't do it perfectly, but I did it at the Funny Bone. I got a pretty good reaction from it. So
that's that's interesting. Yeah,
go to
'cause
YouTube.
I think you mentioned it before on the previous podcast also, like being gay, and I was like, okay, that's cool. That's an interesting, like you have to go through a time of civil rights as you come up. Like you're an adult, so that's
Oh,
definitely like things. I don't think we touched on it much before. But tell me, how does that tie to the JFK assassination?
oh God, I forgot. Okay, yeah, there was some free time in Amsterdam,
Okay.
and I was just strolling around, and some guy just, basically accosted me, shoved this pamphlet in my hands. I look at it, and it's a language I don't understand, and I
Mm.
say, "What?" And he said, just from that one word, American. And I got another pamphlet, and it was basically a JFK frickin' conspiracy thing in what, 1975. So
Wow.
it ain't new.
Right. Um,
Yeah.
What was the conspiracy?
Oh God, I you know what I toss it in the trash because I mean I at
This is just
the
a
time I
segue
was
to talk about
rational
how
enough.
many cocks you took in Amsterdam. I'm sorry. I'm sorry that I derailed the train in the pursuit of some facts that were not less interesting, you know.
Actually I
When
left that.
where to purchase magic bullets?
Yeah, yeah. Um, but yeah. I mean, dude, I remember getting sent home from actually kindergarten when that happened, and
Oh, the
yeah,
JFK.
I buy the whole what was it burger report. Um, yeah, I mean it works for me. I believe that we stepped foot on the moon. I watched the frickin' space program start. I saw the damn lunar landing in one of my only favorite places as a kid, which was Ocean City, New Jersey,
Huh.
sitting in a lobby watching a black and white TV of a
Wow.
black and white broadcast.
Wow.
And
Right.
you know,
Yeah.
I'm not going to let these conspiracy theorists take away one of my fondest memories. So
Right.
so
Yeah.
there.
And they've gotten more and more silly. I mean, it started, some very grassroots, very fringe, and has become very mainstream in such a disturbing way. I'm sure for you, I mean, you're part of the Wackadoo Club being on this podcast, so don't take this the wrong way when I say that. Uh, we might be strange people, but I think you've been probably pretty skeptical of the nonsense. You don't seem to have gotten caught up in the Q conspiracy at all, which is like a host for all like conspiracies rolled into one, like basically whatever you want to believe.
Watched all of this unfold. I knew there were pockets of crazy, but damn, after 9/11, when social media hit at the same time, they started finding each other. And my God, what a frickin' mess we got, man.
Yeah,
Uh,
y-
I mean, they became the loudest voice in America, if not the majority. I hope to God they're not the
I
majority.
hope they're not the majority. I hope they're just so loud that they're just drowning everybody out. Um, but yeah, I mean, how do you feel about that as a person who saw it start and saw it grow?
Oh, I mean, everybody says good old days. I lived through the good old days. They weren't that good. I mean, and we made progress. We made progress for quite a while. And, treating people decently, blah, blah, yakety
Yeah,
smackety.
yeah.
And then
I
when
mean,
those
you're
frickin'
talking
planes
this
hit,
60s through the
everybody
90s.
lost
That's what it
their
was all
damn
about, right?
mind.
I cut you off. Do you mind repeating that? I'm sorry.
Okay. uh, well, duh. I'm just going to say collectively as a country, it was a shame that, social media basically hit right after those planes hit the towers
Yeah,
because
and
that
you hit, yeah,
ignited a flame. That
and
that really ignited a flame. And
you've hit it
I
right
don't
on
know
the
how the
head.
hell we're going to put it out.
Yeah, the one thing with the generation coming up is they have to learn how to discern what is true information and what's nonsense, a lot faster
God,
because it's
yeah.
coming from everywhere.
Yeah, yeah. I mean, yeah. Social media. I mean, Lord, I loved it originally because,
Hmm.
well, I could keep track of the family I'm estranged from as I lurk.
Right, right.
But y- yeah, what it's become, my God, it's a
What do you
basically
think?
a cesspool.
Yeah.
I block everybody else out of my life.
What do you think the solution is to the way that social media is?
I don't. It is good at what it does, which is allow people to communicate ideas, but it's so polluted by this crazy that I I absolutely have no idea how to draw the crazy out of the equation. It's just, yeah.
That's a fair observation, Bobby. That's a fair observation.
It gave the crazy a voice.
Yeah, right.
Yeah.
Crazies were kept away from each other, and then they all found each other on the internet.
Oh, God.
And
Yeah.
there are good crazies like Aaron Cosbiel here, who's not your normal human being but
Mhm.
has a very good heart. And there's a lot of really just bad crazies.
Yeah. Oh, God. Yeah. So, yeah, I mean, I don't know about you, but I'm not going to talk to people that I can't see through the same lens of reality on the internet. I have no idea how to speak to them if after all this time they're that way. And they view
That's a
the
fair
world.
point. Yeah, maybe the best way to deal with trolls is simply ignore them. You don't need to respond to somebody who disagrees with you, especially since they're
Just
probably a
don't
bot.
just don't go trip tropping over their bridge.
Yeah, yeah, exactly. Like
You know,
you just leave the bridges alone, you know. And then I guess you're saying spend your time with people who are worth your time. Um, and that's a good observation from a man who's lived some years. Um, Mr. Bobby Branco, it's been fantastic talking to you. Thank you for coming back on the show. This is such a great conversation. I really do want to catch up with you again. We'll have to reschedule you to come on and talk about some more of the stuff because I know you've lived a very full life. We've just hit the very top of it. We are in the last 5 minutes of the
yeah.
show. That's why I'm moving towards a wrap up. Do you have any final thoughts, real quick, that you want to share while we wrap up?
Okay. Well, first thing is that I don't believe that trying to write traumedy is the easiest thing in the world. It's sort of daunting to me that,
Fair.
I mean, I want to create something that is complete. I mean, a show that has all these elements in it,
Interesting.
and actually, yeah, actually, all the stuff that I've done so far, I wanted to do more of a Norm Macdonald, just taking the audience in another direction abruptly. And
Yeah,
I mean,
that's
I,
fun.
I think I think that's how it has to work. And
Uh, and
I
people can check out your stand up as it's developing, youtube.com at the bipolar comic or bipolar comic.
bipolar comic, one word, because like I said, you try to search for the bipolar comic
Yeah, yeah.
online, and you ain't gonna find me.
You're gonna have trouble with it. But you can get it there. You can also find him on Facebook at Bobby Branco, the bipolar comic, and you can find that easily by searching that. Um, or maybe I just know you. Aaron, do you have some final wrap up thoughts or things you want to share as we move into the wrap up?
Oh, me?
Oh yeah, Aaron.
What?
Oh,
Yeah.
Oh,
okay. Go.
I don't
Speaketh.
know. It speaketh. Uh, don't acknowledge that crazy conspiracies are for entertainment only.
Yeah.
That is a good thought. Um, it's
Oh,
fun to entertain
I have.
ideas. It's fun to entertain ideas, but unless you can prove something, don't believe it. Or there's like really solid evidence for it, don't believe it.
Okay, I have something for next time, and I have it. I did sort of write something that's going to
Okay.
be way too long for an open mic night,
Okay.
but go ahead and ask me about my religious indoctrination.
This
I
this is
believe that is
fantastic.
funny.
So we have just a couple more minutes, but we're gonna leave that on the cliffhanger. I'm adding it to your notes right now, the religious indoctrination. Um, yeah, we will be talking about that when you come back on, because that's also a fun topic to laugh at, because I think a lot
Oh
of
God,
people
yes.
find the commonality with that. Bobby, it's been great talking with you because the goal, I think I was saying, I can't remember if I mentioned it on the show or in the green room, but we're just trying to show people who we are, just really, people just by sitting down and having conversations. And it was
Oh
just
yeah,
great
man.
catching up with you as a person.
I had a great time, man. I look forward to doing it again.
Hell yes.
Um,
And we'll drop some more F-bombs.
okay,
Just sparingly. Aaron Cosbill, we'll
just
take all yours and use them too.
All right.
all right.
All right.
Well,
So
just keep peeling the layers of the onion, man.
facts.
Basically, you're gonna get to some stinky frickin' onion. But
That's what I'm about. So we're gonna close this one out for the night, guys. Thank you for tuning in. You can catch us on at coxandspace.com. Upcoming soon. I'm gonna get a calendar up so you can see our guests that are coming in too. So keep an eye out for that. We do have shows up 5 nights a week, so you can join us on the Discord and catch those live, or wait 2 weeks until they come out on the podcast. We're so thankful you're here. On behalf of Aaron Cosbill, Bobby Branco, and myself, Skip Marazzi, y'all have a good night. Bye bye.
Bye.
bye.